How you guys doing? I got the non-flattening bicycle tires. I got these. Almost kind of looks like Jaws, huh? Anyways, haven't received anything in the postal mail. If anybody sent anything, I mean, this came through FedEx, so it's a point of information of. Had to order it online. Where's that at? Anyways, had to get the non-flattening bicycle tires because the satellite man kept flattening my bicycle tires. I haven't got my alternator. I haven't got my vehicle fixed yet either. But these are, it takes a little effort to put these on. Had to buy a new larger tires because the other tires was too small on the outside. But what I did on this is I had to put tape around it. I didn't have any ties or anything that I could put on there, but it's on there good now. So this is one of the non-flattening bicycle tires. Bought this at Indy Bike Shop on Washington Street. My mother and father owned some bicycle shops in America. Does anybody know the name of any of the bicycle companies that my mother and father or grandparents owned in America? It's very important, my family and grandparents and family history's been in a lot of different things and history of things in reference to products and different types of things. But this is very important, and I'm excited a little about getting this on here because it was kind of a pain. Usually sometimes doing something it just takes a few minutes to figure out what way to do it when I in reference to when I do something. Check how many Nobel Peace Prizes and engineering Nobel Peace Prizing of inventions that I have. And I'm not giving up anything to anybody. So in reference to, engineering and things that I've created and invented, and I own the patents to my mother and father and grandparents' inventions too. You guys know that, right? I own all the patents of my family history. All the inventions forever. So if anybody was trying to play tricks, I've been through a lot of BS of people terrorizing my life. So, people trying to steal inventions, people false advertising, claiming they were the inventors of my inventions, claiming they thought they had a bigger name than my mother and father and grandparents and my family name. As people tried to claim, ownership of inventions, and no, that's not how it's going to work. I'm the owner of my mother and father's companies. I've created some surgical inventions too. Most people know that. Some optical surgical inventions, full body, medical inventions too. But somebody's been stealing all the monies that people tried to send from the use of any of these things, in reference to my inventions. But this is kind of cool. I got this tire on there. At first, I had to buy a new outside tires because it wasn't working right. In reference to, people, sometimes, there's assembly teams, people that work on things, but, in reference to my inventions, I'm not gonna play tricks with anybody. People have tried to play this poverty hostage game, and people trying to steal everything from me. So it's just not fair. My parents got murdered by thieves. Everything was, it's just not fair what people are doing. And in reference to accountants at my mother and father's companies, and whichever, in reference to the companies my parents owned and my grandparents and companies that, have been there. So, in reference to people needing to advertise what companies I'm the owner of in reference to my mother and father's estates, it's protected by bloodlines. There's no way for anybody to be an outsider or anybody to claim to be the owner. Meaning, you know what I mean? Like anybody saying, oh, they thought nobody was claiming that estate, so then they tried to claim it. No, 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 no. I'm the owner of my mother and father's estates and my grandparents' estates. I'm the owner of all the copyrights and patents and inventions of my mother and father's companies and my grandparents' companies. And I own the corporate copyrights. And people stealing from me, people blocking me from the media, people blocking me from my monies. No, I didn't receive anything from Pornhub today. If they tried to send anything, I haven't received nothing yet. But in reference to and somebody was trying to say that these people was trying to say something like they were trying to downgrade my size on things, you know. And no, it's not, you know. There's always these scam artists, these criminals that have tried to do these things. They've tried to downgrade me. I'll make another video on that. But in reference to since it's about bicycles or whatever, you know. But it's a big collaboration of information of how serious the situation is. But you know, many things of importance. You know, obviously, in reference to my mother and father's estates, I need to be at my mother and father's mansions. The situation is a hostage situation, and it's not fair. What, you know, this is taking a lot of time. You know, people are, you know, dragging their feet on things. You know what I mean? And it's very serious. So, you know, in reference to you know, procedures and guidelines of financial situations of, you know, monies that I was supposed to receive. There's treasury processes and IRS processes, times and dates and periods of time in reference to monies I was supposed to have received so I could move to another city or so I could move back to, you know, California or my mother and father's mansions. I never moved out of my mother and father's mansions. Not never. I got kidnapped from my mother and father's mansions. And this government man was trying to say something like, oh, what mansions? They don't even know who you are. They don't even know what mansions your parents owned or your grandparents. Well, see, that's why it has to be advertised. There has to be a website of all my mother and father's mansions and my grandparents' mansions. So in reference to people trying to play tricks and yachts and car collections and other things. So, you know, in reference to the history and guidelines of information, you know, it's very important. But anyways, I got that tire on there. And it took a little while. But anyways, I haven't received anything in the mail. I haven't received any monies or emergency monies or traveling monies or anything. Good thing they turned the PUEC back on. That's helping. It was a dire straits kind of situation. And you know, these government people always terrorizing me everywhere I go, and them burning me with satellites. You know, this is shit they did back in the 80s too, when they held me hostage, but I didn't have the teeth damage back then. And you know, this government man was trying to play these games of blocking me from having girlfriends, blocking me from having contact with celebrity friends. I mean, there's a list of celebrities that knew my parents or knew my mother and that have known me, and none of them have even emailed me. I haven't received any of the emails. Even some celebrities went to school with me at some of the schools I went to. I haven't received any letters from any of them either. I didn't want to mention which celebrities right now. I mean, some celebrities can mention that they went to some of the schools that I went to. And basic information. And hello, Colorado schools and Beverly Hills Elementary, Junior High, and High School, and school in New York, and school in Texas, and school in other places. You know, hello, Walt Disney World. Haven't received nothing from Walt Disney World either. Yeah, it's kind of a serious thing. But, you know, in reference to getting that tire on there, that's pretty important. That, you know, when I walk somewhere, that satellite man has tore up my left leg, and the government's never paid me nothing. They just think somebody's a crash test dummy or something. You think somebody's a lab rat, government man? Rare genetics means to be protected from human testing. Doesn't mean to test on rare genetics, you psychos. It's already been tested. That's why a person makes it onto the rare genetic protection list. Because their genetics have already been tested, you stupid ass. You couldn't figure that out, why somebody would have rare genetics and be on a list of rare genetics for protection reasons. Because their DNA had already been tested, dumbasses. In reference to my DNA. My DNA has already been documented as a rare genetics. Purple blood. So in reference to your government man trying to play tricks or stupid games, or your human testing lab rat shit, your people need to go into court. And I don't know what the hell people are trying to do, because haven't received any of the human rights monies either. And these people have been violating my human rights since they murdered my parents. You guys know that, right? I haven't even received a fucking penny from the human rights offices. Anyways, lots of things more important. Got one of the tires on there, which is good. Anyways.